Okay, we're going to start having a look at a couple of runners for the Melbourne Cup, which are at very good prices. The first one that I want to go through and highlight is the Joseph O'Brien trained runner, Valiant King, currently available at 51.0 and 14.0. It's been a little bit forgotten in the market over the last week and a half and has drifted out. The 51 and 14 is very good value. I'm just going to go through the positives for this horse. Valiant King lightly raced Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old by Roaring Lion out of the Candy Ride Mare Assembly. Now, if we trace this family back through the dam side of the pedigree, Assembly itself is a Candy Ride mare, as I've said. She was pretty smart. Okay, so she was a mile winner at Gulfstream Park. She had a few more starts than this, but these are the only two listed in Racing Post. She's pretty handy, only lightly raced. I think she only started 6 or 7 times from memory. Yeah, 9 starts for 2 wins. Okay, so she's relatively lightly tried. But once we get back to the second dam, Candy Ride himself is a good staying influence, relatively unknown to Southern Hemisphere time, gets a lot of good runners, especially in America. The second dam, Conference Call by Anabar. Now this traces back to Raziana, the dam of Danehill. So the fourth dam of this one is the minstrel half-sister or three-quarter sister to Danehill, with the minstrel being by Northern Dancer, while Danzig, the sire of Danehill, Danzig over Raziana gave us Danehill, the minstrel over Raziana gave us Euphonic. So the fourth dam is a three-quarter sister to Danehill, and that makes the second dam, Conference Call, a close relation to Danehill as well, as Conference Call is by Anabar, which is by Danzig. Okay, all right. So Raziana over Danzig there, a couple of generations back, gives us another close relation to Danehill, and the second dam of this one being Conference Call. Now, Conference Call herself was very smart on the track. She won 2 from 6. As a 3-year-old in the Grand Prix de Paris, no, not the Grand Prix de Paris. As a 2-year-old, she was second to the champion race mare Zarkava, who won an arc. One of the best mares I've ever seen on the track, to be brutally honest. That was in the Royal Barriere de Deauville. The Prix Marcel Boussac. Only beaten 2 lengths by Zarkava. Absolute top-class form reference. Come back as a 3-year-old on a heavy track and reproduce that with another second to Zarkava at the start of its 3-year-old season in the Prix de la Grotte for 3-year-old fillies over a mile. Now, so that's the second dam, Conference Call. When we get back to the third dam, and she's also produced the top-class Empire Maker horse, Teletext, who was 116 rated, and also the Tappet horse Seismic Wave, who was 102 rated. 2 high-class types, both at their best over staying trips, especially Teletext over 12 furlong. Another suggestion, there's good stoutness on the bottom half of this pedigree. Once we get back to the third dam, the Gone West mare, Phone West, Gone West, another great influence. She was only lightly raced herself. And then the fourth dam, as I said, is the minstrel 3-quarter relation to Danehill, being Euphonic. She won the Prix Armandine over 1400, third in the Prix d'Estart, and third in the Prix de la Grotte as well, the same race won by that Conference Call ran second in behind Zarkava. Okay, so as I've said, this is one of the better distaff lines in the European stud book, the American stud book, Northern Hemisphere stud book. Valiant King being by Roaring Line brings good stoutness top half of the pedigree. Roaring Line himself was top class over staying trips. He's a son of of Kitten's Joy. 4-time Group 1 winner. Won the Racing Post Trophy. Won the Derby. One of the better ones of his generation. Group 1 wins over Saxon Warrior, Poet's Word. Saxon Warrior again. I Can Fly. Group 2 winner as a 2-year-old. Second to Saxon Warrior. On his final start as a 2-year-old at Group 1 level. But in the Racing Post Trophy. Good staying influence. Now, the run that I'm going to go on for Valiant King is it's second to Vauban and it's second to Desert Hero. That's when it put the writing on the wall and suggested that it's above average, that good line behind Desert Hero. There's plenty of strong form coming out of that race. And the second to Vauban at Naas over 12 furlong on a soft track, it was just as good as Vauban through the line that day. It carried £10 less, was only beaten a length and a half. In the Melbourne Cup, Vauban carries 55 and Valiant King carries 50, which is £11 difference. Okay, so Valiant King with more scope for more being lightly raced than Vauban has. And when you look, Vauban's going to go around 450 favourite in the Melbourne Cup at the moment. And Valiant King, from a trainer who knows how to get a Melbourne Cup winner with Joseph O'Brien winning Melbourne Cups before, currently 51 and 14, it's just sort of suggesting to me that Valiant King's in pretty well here, and with natural scope for improvement being lightly raced, that's big overs at 51 and 14. Now, in the order of entry currently, Valiant King is 31st on the order of entry. 24 make the final field for the Melbourne Cup. He's also engaged, got an entry for the Caulfield Cup. More than likely he won't go to the Caulfield Cup because I think he's 35th on the order of entry for the Caulfield Cup. Only 18 get into the Caulfield Cup. So he'll most likely get balloted out of the Caulfield Cup. May have one prep run beforehand going to the Melbourne Cup. But everything suggests that on form, the form around Desert Hero, back through Bertinelli, Cloudbreaker, all this form stacks up to suggest that Valiant King is a serious Melbourne Cup contender, and then the second to Vauban franks that theory as well. I'm not going to go too deep into the form, but all this form back through the second in the King George V Stakes, the Heritage Handicap over 12 furlong, and the second to Vauban in the Ballyroan Stakes, which has always been a good reference for Melbourne Cups, suggests that Valiant King is a serious chance at 51 and 14. The place odds of 14 to 1 or 14.0 is absolute luxury. It's well worth taking, along with the second horse I'm going to preview in the next video as well. So that's a quick look at Valiant King as a Melbourne Cup contender at Flemington on the 7th of November. Thanks.